All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here once again for more One Piece, and I am more than happy to read it to all of you. So let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another live reading of One Piece. Today, we are going to be going through Volume 10 of the series. We finally entered into the double digits of the volumes, and now we're in the tens. So, let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way. If any of you want to see what I'm reading, because I don't show images due to copyright reasons, and because, I'm almost off of my first strike that I got for a logo situation that I had like a couple months back, but if you guys want to see what I'm reading, either go to the official site on Viz or go to other places that has the manga that I have, such as that I read, such as Manga Plus. That's another good example. But good to see you, Kohagen. It is time to begin. So, yo, Psycho, good to see you. Let's start. Volume 10. Okay, it's like a long panel. Okay, let's stand up. And the chapters we're going to be going through today are chapters 82 through 90. Ooh, we're almost entering into the 100s of chapters as well, so that's significant. The Story of One Piece, Volume 10. Oh, and it appears that Oda, the way that they get the synopsis, they're not splitting it from one page to the next page, they're putting it on all one page, which is good for me. The Story of One Piece, Volume 10. Monkey D. Luffy started out as just a kid with a dream, and that dream was to become the greatest pirate in history. Stirred by the tales of pirate Red Hair Shanks, Luffy vowed to become a pirate himself. That was before the enchanted devil fruit gave Luffy the power to stretch like rubber, at the cost of being unable to swim, a serious handicap for an aspiring sea dog. Undeterred, Luffy set out to sea and recruited some crewmates. Lying sharpshooter Usopp, master swordsman Zoro, and treasure-hunting thief Nami. Luffy and his crewmates have finally defeated Don Krieg and his pirates and added the high-kicking cook Sanji to their crew. At last it seems they can finally set sail for the Grand Line, until they discover that their navigator Nami has deserted. Zoro and Usopp sail after her and come upon an island under the tyrannical rule of the fiendish fishman pirates and their leader, Captain Sawtooth Arlong. Worse still, Nami is in cahoots with them. Luffy and the others reach the island, but despite what they hear about Nami, they refuse to believe it. They come to understand Nami's hatred of pirates when they learn from her foster sister Nojiko that their adoptive mother, Belmare, was killed by Arlong. The deep voice wants to mess with me just a little bit. They discover, too, that Nami has been hoarding her loot to buy Cocoa Village back from Arlong. Nami, who has been fighting a solitary battle for so long, finally asks Luffy for help. All right, let's get started with chapter 82. Okay, let's stand up. Because last we left off, basically Luffy entered into the scene by not only completely destroying the gate into Arlong Park, but just straight up saying like, all right, which one of you is Arlong? Because Nami asked Luffy for help, and he was all like, okay! And then puts his hat on her head because your boy Luffy is about to throw hands. Which one of you is Arlong?
That would be me.
I'm Luffy.
Is that so? And what's a Luffy?
A pirate. And then it cuts to two fishermen who are directly in front of Luffy. Where do you think you're going?
Stop right there. First you gotta tell us your story.
You better stop. And then Luffy takes both of the fishermen's heads and then slams them together. Out of my way! And then, of course, this riles up Arlong because you know how he's all like,
Don't lay a hand on fishmen or I'll kill you all.
And Luffy just straight up bashed the heads of two fishmen as like they were nothing. Hey!
What business do you have with me, pirate?
And Luffy doesn't even answer. He just decks Arlong in the face and sends him filing. I already love this volume. No words spoken, just throwing hands. He just decks Arlong in the face and sends him flying in the reverse direction. Gah! Lord Arlong! And then Luffy just breathes out heavily. And then we see Arlong just sitting there in the rubble that he caused from his own body. And then it cuts back to Luffy. It cuts back to Nami when she asks Luffy for help, saying, "Luffy, help!"
Do you realize what you just...
You made our navigator cry! Human scum!
You must be crazy!
And before these fishmen can do anything, they all get kicked out of the way by someone saying, "Stay out of this, you crapfish." Ah, you always have to dive right in, don't you? Yeah, but I don't lose. I'm not worried about that, dummy. Just save a little for the rest of us. Okay.
It's okay with me if you don't share, Luffy.
How generous of you, Usopp. As Sanji, Usopp, and Zoro both join Luffy in Arlong Park. And then it cuts to Kurobi. Rono Zoro.
Hey, that's the guy who tricked. That's the guy that tricked me. He took me for a ride. I mean, I took him for a ride.
Longnose is alive!
I thought Nami killed him.
Pirates, eh? So that's the connection.
Hey, just who are these guys? And it cuts to the civilians who are outside as Yosaku and Johnny keep the civilians from getting involved. Hey, just who are those guys? You see him send that monster Arlong flying? He can't be a normal human. What's this?
You can't defeat the fishmen yourselves.
You'll only get in our comrades' way here. If you insist on butting into this fight, you'll have to go through us.
And then it cuts to Genzo. Why are you doing this? You have no reason to fight.
They made Sister Nami cry.
That's a good enough reason for us to risk our lives.
So Yosaku and Johnny are keeping the civilians from getting in. You mean to tell me you came
here for Nami? You're just 4 people from an inferior species. What can you do?
And then it cuts to Hachi.
Do you boneheads think you can push Arlong around? I'll turn you into chum! Arise, giant warrior!
And then Hachi, using his long mouth, starts, toot 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 toot. And then it cuts to the civilians going, "What? No!
Ah! What is that? The monster from the Grand Line!
The one that decimated Gosa!"
Come on out! Momu!
And then it cuts to Momu, who still has the ropes snapped but tied around his horns, multiple boo-boos over his head, just multiple lumps. Well, one big lump. And he gets up and he's crying in front of Hachi. And then it's Usopp who saw Momo beforehand and just saw what happened when he saw it initially. He just saw
ah! The monster! It's here!
Huh?
It's the ferocious sea cow Momu! And then it cuts to Momu. It cuts to Momu, who notices individuals standing right there in Arlong Park. Momu got convinced to bring... Yeah, Momu got convinced to bring Luffy to Arlong. But Momu notices that there's some individuals standing there in Arlong Park. Oh, it's him. So he works for these guys. And then Momu starts crying again and is shocked to see the very individuals who gave him such a beating standing right in front of him again, and he starts to slink away. Then it cuts to Hachi.
Wait! Momu! Where are you going?
And then Momu just starts to slink away back into the waters crying. Then it cuts to Arlong, who gets upset that Momu's leaving.
Momu, where do you think you're going? Well, if you want to run away, I won't stop you. Go ahead, Momu.
And then it cuts to Momu getting furious. it cuts to Momo getting furious and then doubling back and trying to charge Luffy and everybody.
Ah! Here he comes!
Yeah! Follow Momo's lead!
Let's show those insolent nothings how their lives will end!
Then it cuts to Zoro preparing to fight, Sanji preparing to fight, and Usopp still screaming. I've had it! This is a waste of time! Goes Luffy. And then it cuts to Luffy. As Momo's roaring, he stamps his feet into the ground. Both of them. And then it cuts to Sanji. What's he doing? I have a bad feeling about this. And then Luffy starts spinning his body around, like twisting his body around while he's still planted in place. And then he grabs on to Momo's horns. There's one thing in that villains in manga should never do, but they do it anyway. Never underestimate a human spirit. That's what always leads to their downfall. Yes, when you come across villains who are so hung up on their own power and their own superiority, they doubt how much will a person has to see whatever they're trying to do to the end. It's odd how not a single villain has caught up on this. I think Thanos is a good enough villain to know this sort of thing, but he's just that strong where even the strength of a person's will is not enough to beat him until the absolute very end. But Luffy spins his whole body around and twists it multiple times, and then he latches onto the horns of Momo.
Huh? He has the power of the devil fruit! Look!
And then it cuts to Usopp going,
Run for it!
What's he doing?
I don't know. Gum!
Why, that cocky brat? Get him!
And it cuts to Momo, who suddenly starts to get spun around as Luffy basically picks up Momo and starts swinging him around with Gum Windmill! And in the process, he's swinging Momo all around, and he's also knocking away every single one of the fishmen who tried to charge him in a beautiful double spread panel. Then it shows Momo going sailing through the air. I didn't come here to waste time on small fry. I came here to clobber you! As Luffy points at Arlong.
Well, that works out perfectly. I was just thinking about clobbering you too.
Then it cuts to Chu, Kurobi, and Hachi.
Looks like we'll have to get involved.
What did he do to what he did to our comrades? Was it nice?
I'll show you that humans are no match for fishmen. You know, he still does that little kissy sound. There feels like there's something on my eye. Now the real players appear. Consider the danger, you fool!
You'll get us all in trouble!
And then it cuts to Luffy, who's just, still heated. And that's the end of chapter 82. Onwards to chapter 83, but first, an SBS. Question. This is Timmy Ueda of the SBS Takeover Gang. I'm going to begin the SBS question corner before you do, Oda-sensei. SBS will now begin. Answer. No you did. Oh no, you did it! Darn you, Timmy, now I can't do it. Well, I guess it's already begun. Question. Hello, Oda-sensei. On page 92 of volume 8, in panel 6, it says find Panda Man, but I can't find him. Where is he? Answer. Oh, that. I got a lot of postcards about that. Some people found him and some didn't. First of all, I didn't even expect people to... What does SBS stand for? I don't know. What does it stand for? Hold on. Let me look it up. All these years and I... Oh, okay. It means Shitsumon o Boshu Suru. It basically means I'm taking questions. That's what it means. Shitsumon o Boshu Suru. Yeah, that's what it means. It means it's just an abbreviated Japanese phrase for I'm taking questions. That's what it means. All these years and I never knew. All these years and I never knew. Okay, we learned something new today. Let's see. First of all, I didn't even expect people to notice those tiny words. Nevertheless, I'll give the answer. Inside the lower circle, it does indeed say Find Panda Man, and Panda Man can be seen in the circle at the upper right. So, when Geen was leaving with the surviving Dawn Creek pirates, Panda Man was in that mound with everyone. And that's it for SBS. It was only 2 questions. Chapter 83, Luffy in Black. Short-term concentrated cover serial, Part 2, Koby and Helmeppo later. And it cuts to Koby and Helmeppo, who are basically working as chore boys, but Helmeppo's slacking on the job and trying to be on a smoke break while Koby is working diligently. He sent that huge beast from the Grand Line flying! What? Incredible power! Unbelievable! And it shows all the fishmen pirates who have been knocked out and completely incapacitated because of Luffy's Gum Gum Windmill. A human who's a match for the fishmen. Let's see what these guys can do. And then the air just sweeps by all the civilians, and then it cuts to Luffy and company, who are face to face with Arlong and his 3 top dudes. We should have crushed these humans as soon as they arrived, goes Kurobi. Lord Arlong, please don't get worked up. If you lose your temper, you'll destroy Arlong Park. And then Hachi doesn't say anything.
Time for zero visibility!
And then it cuts to Zoro. That octopus is up to something. Octopus should be boiled in salt water, sliced and seasoned with olive oil and paprika. It's great with booze. There's a little problem, guys.
Hachi Inkjet!
And then Hachi spits out ink, and it hits Luffy, but Zoro and Sanji manage to get out of the way. Octopus ink! Ah! Why didn't you jump out of the way?
Ah! I can't see anything! Luffy, get back!
As it cuts to Luffy, and Hachi is picking up a destroyed piece of rubble and looking like he's about to smash him with it. That's the problem. I'm stuck here! That's the problem. I'm stuck here, and I can't see! Oh boy, why does he always have to?
But you did that to yourself!
Goes Usopp.
Hachi Inkjet on the rocks!
Huh? And then it looks like Hachi smashes Luffy, and Arlong just looks on. But the entire rubble, that piece of rubble that Hachi used to smash onto Luffy, gets split in half. As it shows that Sanji basically just broke it. He just stuck his foot up and he just broke the rubble right then and there. What have I done? I've entered the fray on the behalf of that fool of a captain. Hooray, Sanji! You said it.
Incredible!
But hey, compared to a bunch of women-hating crap pirates, he's not so bad. And then it cuts to Kurobi again. You're pretty strong for a human, but that was a rather gallant act for a pirate. Huh? My feet still won't come out! Still? As it shows Usopp pulling on Luffy, trying to pull him out of the hole that he basically, when Luffy did, and I didn't describe it then, but when Luffy did his Gum Gum Windmill, he jabbed his feet directly into the solid cement. Like, first of all, how strong are you to just slam your feet through cement? That's one thing. But his feet are now stuck in there because of his Gum Gum Windmill move. Want to test my gallantry, crabfish? I was raised by a pirate. I don't think you've got what it takes to take me on, human.
How about now, Luffy?
I don't know. I think they're just stretching.
Then how about helping me? How about now?
Nope, not yet. As it shows Luffy's feet still stuck in the ground.
You think this is fun and games, fools? You're at Arlong Park! I'll smash you!
Ah! Come on, Luffy, try pointing your toes!
You know, even in serious situations, this is still hilarious. But Luffy's feet are still stuck in the ground. And as Hachi's preparing to throw another piece of rubble at Luffy and Usopp, who's trying to run away with Luffy, Zoro's right behind Hachi. Hey, octopus, They're busy right now. Why don't you smash me?
Yeah, Roronoa Zoro! I almost forgot about you! You made a fool out of me!
And then Zoro dodges out of the way before Hachi can smash him.
And you wiped out my comrades!
That's ancient history. What you think doesn't matter. The tables have turned. You guys aren't doing the terrorizing anymore. We are. Yo! Ooh! I love Zoro. I love Zoro.
Okay, Zoro, I'll let you deal with the octopus. Attaboy! Oh no! I let go of him!
As it shows Luffy, retracting back to where he was after Usopp let him go. I don't even know why he let him go, but he lets Luffy go, and Luffy goes sailing in the other direction. And due to the stretching, he runs headfirst directly into Chu, who goes, huh? And then gets headbutted directly in the solar plexus and sent flying. Darn, back here again.
Sorry.
And then it cuts to Chu, who's staring down Usopp. And then Chu starts running after him.
Ah! You must really want to hurt.
You must really want me to hurt you.
Ah!
And then it cuts to Usopp, who just barrels straight through. Cuts to Usopp, who just barrels straight through all the civilians while Chu's running after him, with Yosaku and Johnny going, Brother Usopp! Isn't that the guy that saved Genzo at the village?
He's one of the pirates too.
Hey, didn't you guys come here to challenge us? You're still here? You're from Cocoa Village, aren't you? Judging from the weapons you're holding, I'd say this is a rebellion, and that means that every one of you has to. And then before Chu can say anything or even finish that sentence, he gets smacked in the face with, Firestar! Brother Usopp! Ah! And then Chu is screaming in pain.
I'm your opponent! Got that?
Okay,
Now you're really a goner! Ah!
And then Usopp just takes off running again. Is there something wrong with that young man?
No, he's just an odd one. One moment he's brave, the next he runs away screaming.
And then it cuts to Nojiko, who's going,
A guy like that? Fighting the fishmen?
Then it cuts to Arlong, who gets up. Yo, Ogata-san, hey everyone, what did you miss? We are on chapter 83? Yeah, we are currently on chapter 83 of volume 10. Usopp is currently running away from Chu. Hachi is apparently trying to deal with, Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro are basically facing down Arlong, Hachi, and Kurobi, while Usopp, like I said, is dealing with Chu, or at least running from Chu. But Arlong gets up.
Please, Lord Arlong, please don't get mad.
It's alright, this is just a small...
It's alright. This is just a small matter.
You're mine! I'll clobber you! And then Luffy tries to hit Arlong, but Arlong just dodges out of the way.
Do you fools actually think you can beat us?
As Arlong grabs a hold of Luffy. And then Sanji says, Yeah, we actually do. Darn right we do! Now let go of my hand! Is there something you want to say? And then it cuts to Arlong, who gets close to Luffy and says,
No thanks.
And then he jabs his hand into the ground underneath Luffy and just starts to pull up the entire chunk of rock that Luffy is still embedded in. Ooh, do we have some new people? If we got some new people, welcome. Hope you enjoy yourselves while you're here. If I got my regulars, welcome back. But Arlong picks up that huge chunk, big chunk of the ground that Luffy's embedded in and goes,
I know a game we can play.
Hey, put me down!
People who've eaten the devil fruit can't swim. Of course, in your condition, you'd sink anyway.
Now, mind you, Arlong doesn't really read out his trademark laugh here. It just has him going, but his signature laugh is, so for the time being, I'm just gonna go off of him going, so I'm just gonna do that.
Not the ocean.
Gum, pistol! as it cuts to Luffy trying to hit Arlong. And Arlong, in return, bites down on Luffy's hand. Ow! Fool! And then Luffy, in return, bites Arlong. It's just like he just bites him. You biter!
He's finished.
Goes Kurobi. And then he just throws Luffy into the ocean. Luffy! Why you? I'm coming, Luffy. Hold on. Jumping into the ocean is just what they want us to do. There's only one way to rescue Luffy. Finish these customers off, then drag them out. Excellent plan. Let's do it. Yeah.
Time to play, eh?
And then Arlong goes and sits on some rubble as Zoro and Sanji prepare to face off against Hachi and Kurobi. This is bad. I have no strength. And then it cuts back to Usopp, who's still screaming while he's running from Chu. And that is the end of chapter 84. Well, that's the end of chapter 83. Onwards to chapter 84, but before that, we got another SBS. Question. When Arlong and the other fishmen have children, do they lay eggs like fish do? Bzzz. Answer. The fishmen are actually mammals, so they have kids the same way humans do. Of course, that's the job of the fish women. Question. I, totally want to know the heights of the crew. That Nami is, so cute. Answer. The main 5, eh? Alright. First of all, Gaiman's height is... Just kidding. Alright. Okay, I'll start with the shortest. Nami is 5'6.5". I'm taller than Nami. Luffy is 5'8". Hey, I'm Luffy's height. Usopp is 5'8.5". Sanji is a little under 5'10", and Zoro is 5'10". So basically, they're all, about the same height. Well, they're in the 5-foot range, it's just that they vary in inches. Question. Of the fishmen, Hachan is the cutest and funniest. So what I wonder is, how come his full name is Hachan, and his nickname is Hachi? In Japanese, Chan is usually part of a nickname. Answer. You know how Chinese people sometimes have Chan as a Hachan, have Chan as a last name? It's kind of like the same thing. So his name is just basically Hachan. Not Hachan, but basically it has a Chinese connotation to it. So Hachan. Hachan. Question. What is that thing wrapped around the waist of Usopp and most of the pirates that appear in One Piece? A towel? Or are they trying to copy Zoro's Haramaki? Answer. You mean this? Yeah, they're all wearing it, huh? But there's no deep significance to it. It's just a sash. It seems that pirates like to wear them, but they used to stick pistols and knives in them, so they aren't just for show. You Americans and your measure system, foot, inches. Yeah, we don't measure by centimeters or meters. We measure by feet and inches. I know it's kind of weird. I know it's kind of weird when it comes to other countries, how we measure things in feet and inches, but that's just how it is in America. Why can't you just use a metric system like the normal humans do? Because this is America, and what we do doesn't make sense. That pretty much sums up the entire country as a whole. Chapter 84, Zombie. Kobe and Helmeppo's Chronicle of Toil, Volume 2. Chores, chores, chores. And it cuts to Kobe, who has no problem washing the clothes of the other Marines, while Helmeppo is struggling to carry a whole big pile. And then it cuts to Arlong at the beginning of the chapter laughing his head off. And then it cuts to Zoro, or at least you don't drive on the wrong side of the road. Look. Let's not get off into how different. Let's not get off into how different roads are in different countries, because I'm so used to driving on the left side of a car to switch over to the right side and then drive on the left. It's just, I don't know. That's just me. It would throw me off. But, like I said, let's not get into it. Zoro! Don't think you're going to remain whole of tentacle, octopus boy?
You want to play with me?
Then it cuts to something bubbling under the water, most likely Luffy, since he's under there right now.
That was a rotten trick, you crap fish goons. Don't get so upset. It's not like any of you have a chance of surviving.
And it still cuts to Luffy, who's still slowly sinking under the waterfront of Arlong Park.
You can't even breathe underwater. What miserable creatures you are! What miserable creatures you are!
And then it cuts to Yosaku and Johnny.
This looks bad, Johnny. Brother Luffy's in big trouble.
There's no way he can save himself.
And it cuts to Luffy, who's steadily trying to hold his breath. And Genzo and Nojiko just continue to watch on.
I'll finish you in 5 seconds.
Hachi? Inkjet!
And it cuts to Hachi trying to hit Zoro with his inkjet, but Zoro dodges. And he bears down on Hachi. But Hachi manages to dodge in the nick of time before Zoro basically cuts off 2 of his like spiky, spiked hair, because Hachi has like spiky hair. Even though being a Southerner, you really don't call yourself a Yankee. No, none of us do, unless you're from New York, and I don't even think they call themselves Yankees. But Hachi dodges out of the way of Zoro's slash, but Zoro manages to cut off 2 stalks of his like hair at the top.
My hair! Human scum! If you think I'll let you get away with that, you're absolutely right! Hey, it's only hair, it'll grow back.
Thanks. And it cuts to Zoro, who's kind of huffing just a little bit. Remember, this dude is still recovering after his fight with Mihawk and after getting cut across the chest. Normally, recuperation after getting slashed across the chest should take like a very long time, weeks, months even. And this man just sailed directly into another altercation, and he's fighting while he's still recovering. Uh-oh. As Sanji is looking at Zoro, who's, getting tired because he's not fully 100% yet.
Stay on your toes if you want to live a while longer.
And Sanji dodges out of the way before Kurobi can hit him.
Oh yeah? Well, a fish should never pit himself against a cook.
Then it cuts to Luffy, who hits the bottom of the water right next to Arlong Park.
The pain! My lungs are bursting!
See, Roronoa Zoro? I'm more than a match for any swordsman. Now do you get it?
Yeah, you talk a lot.
Hachi's triple sword catch!
And then it cuts to Hachi, who tries to catch Zoro's sword, but Zoro's too fast, and all 3 sets of hands miss his sword, and Zoro winds up, cutting Hachi in the head.
Yeah!
I don't have time to play with you. This is taking too long. Hurry up and die!
You fool! The Hachi stick up!
And then it cuts to Hachi, who jumps out of the way of Zoro's slash. Now remember, Zoro only has 1 sword right now because 2 of his others were destroyed by Mihawk. So he's only able to use 1 sword right now. So needless to say, not only is he still recovering, but he's not even using the full extent of what he can do because he only has 1 sword. But Hachi jumped out of the way of Zoro, and he's now lashed up to a pillar on Arlong Park with his suction cups.
What the heck? Get down here! Stop stalling!
I heard you use a 3-sword style, so why only 1 sword?
You're losing plenty against just 1 sword, fish!
Shut up! I'm not even trying! There's a reason why a human swordsman can never beat me!
And then it cuts to Luffy, who's underwater still, struggling to hold his breath as much as he can, even though he says his lungs are close to bursting.
Dawn, that slippery octopus clown is wasting our precious time.
But if we dive into the ocean now, they'll just drag us to the bottom.
But at this rate, Brother Luffy's doomed.
We've got to do something to save him.
Wait for us!
And before they can do anything, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see, did Genzo do something? I think Genzo did something to both Yosaku and Johnny, and they both kind of scream out in pain just a little bit. They both kind of scream out in pain a little bit as he goes, "You think you can accomplish anything in the ocean, injured like you are? I'll go help that young rubber boy." "Mr. Genzo!"
I'll go too.
says Nochiko.
Me too, Mr. Kenzo.
Count me in. And me.
"No! If the fishermen spot a crowd of us in the water, they'll attack. And the rubber boy and his friends will have fought for nothing. I'll go alone."
But Mr. Genzo.
That's an order.
Good luck.
We'll leave you to it, but hurry.
And then it cuts to Nochiko.
Mr. Genzo, I'm going too.
"Nochiko, but your stomach."
It's my little sister who's those guys are fighting for.
Come on, we have to hurry.
Right.
Do you know why no human could ever beat me?
And it cuts to Zoro, who just falls over. He just falls over immediately.
Huh?
"What? The wounds Hawkeye Mihawk gave you still haven't healed?" And then Kurobi's looking confused, and then it cuts to Yosaku and Johnny.
Brother!
Now's my chance! Octopus Fritter Frenzy!
And then it cuts to Hachi punching the pillar he was attached to multiple times and jumping off. And as it starts to crumble, he goes,
I'll crush you, Roronoa Zoro!
and Zoro's there, but Zoro grabs him from the back. He grabs him from the back of it, from the back of the head, and goes, as Hachi's laughing, he goes,
Huh?
and Zoro, while the rubble is preparing to fall down, Zoro grabs Hachi and then throws him back into it. It's like Hachi created the instrument of his own destruction. Just because your boy Zoro is hurt does not mean he is out. But Zoro grabs Hachi and throws him right back into the rubble.
I'll crush you. Crap. Why now of all times?
So those wounds were too deep after all.
Of course, they would have killed any normal man, or at least crippled him for half a year. Our brother's been suffering in silence all this time. I thought it was strange that he could get cut up like that and recover so fast. That stupid idiot!
And before Sanji can really realize what situation he's still in, Kurobi punches Sanji and sends him flying to the other side of Arlong Park.
I told you to stay on your toes! I'm a 40th degree master of fishman karate! Gyojin karate!
Look there. It's a man.
It's a man flying.
Brother Cook?
Wow, Kurobi punched Sanji so hard he's outside of Arlong Park and past all the civilians who are standing at the front gate. That's how hard Kurobi hit him.
Brother Cook! Brother Cook!
That's the last of them, Lord Arlong. What do you want to do with Roronoa Zoro? Dump him with the other carcasses in the sea. What boring, inconsequential creatures. Hachi, wake up! How long are you gonna sleep?
Yeah! This octopus man is fighting mad now! Let me at him! I'm the second best swordsman on Fishman Island. They call me Hachi of the Six Sword style. Did you know that? No mere human could ever beat me, even if heaven and earth turned upside down! Huh? Huh?
Who are you going to fight, Hachi?
As Hachi realizes that everyone's kind of been knocked out.
Six sword style? Sounds silly. Is that for chopping vegetables? Listen up, Octopus. There's a man I have to meet, and until I see him again, no one can take my life.
And Zoro just gets right back up. This dude is a tank. He's a tank. A tank.
Yosaku, Johnny, your swords.
Yeah, Zoro!
And now I'll show you the three-sword style.
Yeah, Zoro!
I'll kill you, Roronoa Zoro!
He's alive, eh?
And then it cuts to Sanji, who puts another cigarette in his mouth while he's still laying down and gets back up.
That's it?
If that was a 40th degree punch, then those kicks the crab geezer used to lay on me must have been 400th degree. Ravi, good to see you. It's always good to see you, Ravi. If that was a 40th degree punch, then those kicks the crab geezer used to lay on me must have been 400th degree. And then it cuts to Genzo and Nojiko diving into the water after Luffy. And then it cuts to Usopp, who is still running scared from Chu. This is the second time this chapter has ended with Usopp doing nothing but running away from Chu. This is the second chapter to do this. But that's the end of chapter 84. Onwards to chapter 85. But first, another SBS. Question. Here goes. 1, 2, 3. Answer. Thump. One more time. Question. One more time. 1, 2, 3. And then answer. Thump. Oh, I'm being played. Question. Yo, what's up? One Piece is A-okay. It's always lots of fun and a regular storm of emotions. This is my first time writing to a manga artist. Oda-sensei, you're a character I like. Answer. I'm not a character. Question. The other day, a friend asked me to draw Shanks, so I did. Then suddenly, my friend hit me on the head and says, "How come you drew Django? Am I sick?" Answer. Yes, it's an illness. It's Django drawer's disease. It's Django drawer's disease. You just keep drawing Django. Late stage symptoms include drawing Django even when you're signing for delivery, so please be careful. And for the last question, that thing that's perched on Zeph's head on page 121 of volume 8 is a hat, right? My mom wouldn't believe me. She says it's too tall to be a hat. There must be a pole behind him. Sensei, please tell her yourself so the blockhead will believe it. Blockhead, age 44, will believe it. You're very brave to call your own mother a blockhead. You're very brave. Wouldn't be me. Couldn't be me. Answer. Mom, please listen carefully. In this world, there are facts that cannot be bent, and realities from which we cannot avert our eyes. The thing that looms above Chef's head is a tower of faith that rises up because of his spirit. It is called the Blue Heavens Dividing Chef's Hat. It's true. And since it's Oda, he really has no choice but to, if Oda says this is what the hat is, that is what the hat is. Chapter 85, 3 Swords versus 6. Kobe and Helmeppo's Chronicle of Toil, Volume 3. Arrest at the edge of the base. And we have, what is her name? Her name's not Rika. Little girl from the Navy base that Captain Morgan was in charge of. I think her name's Rika, but she's chilling, feeding some rice balls and having a picnic with Kobe and Helmeppo while Helmeppo's beating into a voodoo doll that resembles Luffy. Because, Helmeppo's in this current state he's in because of Luffy. Chapter 84. And then it cuts to Yosaku.
Brother Zoro's in bad shape. His wounds have made him feverish.
If those wounds open now, he'll die for sure.
But there's no time to worry about that.
Only Brother Zoro can clean up this island.
And it cuts to Zoro, who's standing there in front of Hachi, and then he puts his bandana on.
Ragnar Zoro, you look like a walking corpse, and I haven't even started on you yet.
Keep your comments to yourself.
Catch, brother!
As Yosaku and Johnny throw their swords towards Zoro.
This is bad. I'm about to pass out, and my fever, instead of going down, it's rising.
Brother, our swords! We threw them to you! Catch them!
I'll show you a world that no two-armed human can enter. This is the 6-sword style, which can only be performed by someone with 6 arms and a charmingly flexible body.
Brother Zoro, look out!
And then, as the swords get closer and closer to Zoro, and as Hachi prepares to hit Zoro,
tentacle sword overload!
Yosaku and Johnny look in shock as Zoro not only catches the swords, but completely evades and also deflects Hachi's attack that he tried to hit on him.
3-sword style.
Huh?
Try countering this wild dance with
only 3 swords!
And then it cuts to Zoro, who's just dodging every single one of these hits.
3-sword style. Streaming wolf swords.
And it cuts to Zoro, who's apparently broken one of Hachi's swords because it shows one of them. Oh, no. It shows Zoro right behind Hachi. I thought he broke a sword, but that's really just one of Yosaku and Johnny's swords. I forget that they widen out at the end. I misconstrued that. My fault. Streaming wolf swords. And it cuts to Zoro, who's just standing there. And Kurobi and Arlong are watching as it shows a splurt. It's called splurt. A splurt of blood shoot out of Hachi's front.
He did it!
He got past that six-bladed whirlwind. Zoro's incredible!
And the citizens are just steadily watching on.
Now you've really made me mad. I'm going to chop you up. Just think about it mathematically. 3 blades is the maximum you can hold. You have no chance against my 6 blades.
Mathematically, that would be a grave miscalculation. And then it cuts back to the words of Mihawk. What drives you? Why do you fight so hard when you cannot win? I may only have 3 blades, but look at them. They're much weightier than yours are. And then the wind just howls as both Zoro and Hachi stare each other down. Then it cuts to Nojiko and Genzo, who are underwater. As they're thinking to themselves, because they can't speak underwater. They're thinking to themselves, Nojiko,
He's swallowed an awful lot of water. If we can't free him soon, it'll be too late.
Darn it, I didn't know if this would work on the ocean floor. The water's buoyancy is too strong.
Mr. Genzo, hurry!
It's no use. I can't break the rock.
And I can't carry him to the surface with the thing attached. I need an oxygen tank, but there's no time to get one. That's it!
They both think. And then it cuts back to Zoro versus Hachi.
What? You think your swords weigh more than mine? Idiot! My swords weigh 650 pounds each. They're much heavier than yours, puny human.
I won't waste words on a fool.
6-sword style, octopus pot stance.
And Hachi puts all of his swords together, like he puts them all end to end in like a needle-like fashion, or in like a skewer-like fashion.
Here goes! New Year's! Open! Body slam!
So he hits Zoro's swords, separates his arms to cause Zoro's arms and his whole body to be exposed, and then he headbutts Zoro directly in his chest. You know, the same spot that Mihawk cut him in! So, yeah.
Oh no!
Body slam!
Oh, his wounds!
And then it shows Zoro immediately coughing up blood.
Brother Zoro's gonna die!
And it shows Zoro being sent through the air because of Hachi.
I won't let you touch down alive! Waltz of 6 swords!
And then it cuts to Zoro as he's falling through the air.
Waltz of 6 swords! If it so much as touches you, you're mincemeat!
As it shows Hachi taking all 6 of his swords and spinning them around at high speeds above him to create basically a high-powered blender type attack.
Prepare to be diced!
And as Zoro falls towards the blades, it looks like he gets caught up in it, and everyone just looks on in utter shock.
What?
Yeah!
As Zoro not only comes out of that attack unscathed, but he manages to slice a multiple of Hachi's hands. I was trying to find the right way to say that. He slices multiples of... How do I say this? How do I say this phrase? He slices many of Hachi's hands. Why am I having such an issue saying this, describing this one thing? He slices a multiple of Hachi's hands. I think that's right. Sometimes words escape me. I'm sorry.
No!
And then Arlong and Kurobi just watch on. And then it shows Zoro, who's steadily wheezing, and Hachi, who's just like wincing because his hand's been cut.
Huh?
How?
What could have happened? Yosaku, all this fighting's sure to open up Brother Zoro's wounds.
That human matched the rotation of my blades and passed right between them, and he even managed to cut up my hands. Well, I'm a swordsman, not an acrobat. Oh, now I really had it with you. You've made me so angry.
He's basically channeling his inner Marvin the Martian at the moment.
Oh, now I've really had it with you. I'm really gonna kill you.
Brother Zoro looks like he's in pain. I'd trade places with him if I could.
Even if most people would pass out from wounds like these, I cannot fall.
Six sword style, octopus pot stance. You're as good as dead.
Even if these wounds would kill most people, I cannot die.
This technique is 100% unstoppable. It already worked on you once.
I have to live to defeat Hawkeye Mihawk. I cannot fall. Oni,
New Year's?
Giddy!
Huh?
As Zoro dodges Hachi's New Year's open body slam, and not only slashes, he slashes through all of Hachi's swords and breaks all of them in one go. With Hachi just having the Pepe face just going, just the shocked Pikachu face, if you will. Now do you see whose swords are weightier? Octopus boy? Are you satisfied? Dragon?
Yeah! Octopus fritter frenzy!
Twister! And using Dragon Twister, Zoro cuts through Hachi and sends him flying into the air, with multiple cuts over his body, high into the air.
How could I lose to only 3 swords?
And this shocks Arlong as he goes, Hachi! He couldn't have, goes Kurobi. The rest of you are beneath my notice. I have to save Luffy. Wow, he literally just told Kurobi and Arlong that he's beneath his notice! Ah! I told y'all, I love Zoro. The rest of you are beneath my notice. I have to save Luffy. Then it cuts to Kurobi, who's right there in front of Zoro, and Zoro's still tired, going, Roranora Zoro! Zoro! How dare you do that to Hachi? And before Kurobi can hit Zoro, Sanji comes back and knocks his arm away. You sent me flying quite a ways back before. Brother Cook! Huh. I never thought there was a human in the East Blue who could take the full force of my punch and live. Ah, I wager there are lots who could do it, especially at a certain restaurant I know. You underestimate me. And that is the end of chapter 85. Onwards to chapter 86. No SBS this time. Heroism versus fishman cruelty. And it cuts to the air just whipping through the breeze as it cuts to Hachi, who's unconscious, and Arlong, who's upset that Hachi's been defeated by a human, no less, and Kurobi facing down Sanji. And it cuts to Zoro, who goes, Have to hurry, Luffy. Stop, Zoro. If you go into the ocean like that, you'll die. Shut up. Luffy's got to be at his limit by now. I can't wait around for you to fight. I know there's no time. I'm stopping you because I know that all too well, crap swordsman. And Zoro just looks at Sanji. So you can't blame me for doing this, right? You idiot! As Sanji dives underwater. Ha 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 ha! Interesting. He wants to fight me, a fishman underwater. That reckless idiot. That's exactly what these guys want. And then it cuts to Arlong again. Learn this lesson well. You humans are no match for us. What an incredible fool! As Kurobi dives in after Sanji. And Sanji goes under as he notices Genzo. What? Isn't that the village head man? And it cuts to Genzo, who's underwater. And we see something stretching from Luffy. and Genzo is pumping Luffy's chest.
Come on, breathe. Please let us be in time.
Is that Luffy's stretched neck? Because Luffy's neck is stretched all the way out.
Hurry before my breath runs out.
And it cuts to Nojiko, who is holding Luffy's head above water. They stretched this man's neck from all the way where he was from the front of Arlong Park to where the front gate is and stretched it up above the water so Genzo can keep pumping the water out of Luffy's body and also allow him to breathe.
I'm sorry. I don't have the strength to bring up your whole body, but with this stretchy neck of yours, you could at least cough up water and breathe.
And it cuts to Genzo, who's struggling to, pump air out of Luffy's body. And then Luffy spits out water.
Yes, that's it, Mr. Genzo.
Good. Now even with his feet in the rock, he can at least breathe. Then I just have to shatter the rock with a kick and leave the rest to the old man.
And as Sanji's swimming underwater, Kurobi comes in and goes and hits him in the back of his neck with his extended arm, going,
Fishman karate, forearm sledge!
And kind of knocks just a little bit of air out of Sanji's lungs.
It's those worms from Coco Village, but they're wasting their time.
And then it cuts to Genzo, who sees Kurobi heading straight for him.
Oh no, I've been spotted by a fishman. Do you really think your efforts will buy you any more time in this world? I'll drown you right now!
And then it cuts to Sanji, who grabs onto Kurobi's legs.
Ugh. Not if I can help it,
Sanji thinks to himself. Like I said, only Fishman can speak underwater.
You want to fight me underwater? It'll be all you can do just to hold your breath, human. All right then, I'll take you on. The dueling hair tether.
As the long braid that Kurobi had on his head starts to wrap around Sanji. And Sanji tries to kick Kurobi underwater, but, the water is far denser, so Sanji's kick is slow enough for Kurobi to dodge out of the way.
That was weak. Down here, your kicks have half the force they'd have on land. But with Fishman Karate, there's no loss of power in the water. In fact, the power of some move is even multiplied. Instant underwater ball buster!
And Kurobi kicks Sanji directly in his midsection. And that causes Sanji to kind of spit out a little bit more air. And then Kurobi flips in the air and uses
Flaming Axe Kick! Back foot Jawbreaker!
And it shows Kurobi kicking Sanji directly in the face. And as Kurobi's preparing to hit Sanji, he hits Sanji directly in the face with his
Goofa Palm Bomb!
With like a palm strike, but since he's a fishman, it is incredibly powerful, and he sends Sanji flying through the water into the nearby wall. And then it cuts to Sanji, who gets out of the rubble of this attack and starts making a beeline for the surface because he's basically run out of air.
Ugh, I let out too much air. I need air! Air!
And then Kurobi pops up in front of Sanji.
Where are you going? Crap, let me pass. Air, I gotta breathe. Your ability to take punishment is annoying. It's not normal for a human. But let me explain to you the consequences of your foolhardy heroism. You want to escape from me, but you can't. This game ends in only one way. Death. And when you're finished, I'll kill the village headman. The rubber man will die at the same time. Then I'll finish off that long-nosed fool and Zoro, and I'll kill all the villagers for their rebellion. And after all this, I can very well let that traitor Nami get away, can I? Do you understand? In the end, your heroism is just so much hot air. It can't save a single soul! You humans truly are powerless creatures. You can't even endure extreme changes in water pressure. If you were to descend rapidly to the bottom of the ocean, your guts would be squeezed out of your body. Pulverizing pressure plunge!
Kurobi grabs hold of Sanji and just rapidly starts to go down, downwards, where the pressure is far more fierce, far more heavy, far more. What is the word? Look at me. It's almost as if my vocabulary has been shortened while I'm reading this. While the pressure is far more crushing.
Gotta change the plan. The old man will have to take care of Luffy for now. I won't let him get away with this. He thinks I can't save everyone.
And then Kurobi drives Sanji's head directly into the ground and slams his head into the ground underwater.
Brother Cook's not coming up. And what happened to Sister Nami's sister and that man?
Severe. Yes, severe! Oh my goodness. It's such a simple word, but I was drawing a blank on it. Kurobi dragged down Sanji to where the depths of the ocean, the pressure was far more severe. That's the word! Thank you, Ogata. Thank you. Thank you so much. But it cuts to Yosaku and Johnny above the ground.
Brother Cook's not coming up. And what happened to Sister Nami's sister and that man?
Then it cuts to Sanji, who's still conscious, and he's pointing upwards.
This fool's still not dead? Alright then, we'll do it again. These fishmen breathe with their lungs on land and switch to gills in the water. So right now, he's just a talking fish. We're near the surface now. Think you can survive a second plunge?
Fish die when air is forced through their gills. And then it cuts to Sanji, who latches on to the gills of Kurobi and blows air into it. And it should be the same for him. And it cuts to Kurobi, who just screams in pain as air rushes into his gills. And then Sanji manages to get to the surface, bleeding from his face, but he still manages to take a massive breath of air.
Huh? Sanji. Don't worry. He's all right.
He is?
Half of him.
Half?
I'll explain later. Come on out here, you lousy fish. I'm gonna finish you.
And then it cuts to Kurobi, who shoots up to the surface and goes,
You still don't understand. I'm many times stronger than you are. It doesn't matter if we're in water or out of it. And now you've made me mad. I'll destroy you with the ultimate move of Fishman Karate. I sent you flying before with the 100-brick fist. But my greatest move is the 1,000-brick fist. The likelihood of your survival is 0!
And before Kurobi can even fully finish this sentence, well, he finishes the sentence, but he doesn't get a moment to blink, as it shows a big old foot just right in front of Kurobi's face. And Sanji hits him with a Collier Cool! And as Kurobi is recovering, he uses a Paul Sprawl! A Paul, shoulder. Note, the asterisk on this page indicate French words. A Paul Sprawl! And then he hits Kurobi directly in the back of his neck. Ah, a neck for a neck. He hit Sanji in the back of his neck. Now Sanji's hitting him in the back of his neck.
What did you say you'd do to me?
Kodale Kabash! Sele de ouch! Sele de ouch! Sele, saddle, as in saddle of mutton. Poitrine Treader! And then Poitrine Treader! And he hits Kurobi in his chest. Giga Charlie Le Horse! And then he hits Kurobi. He's hitting Kurobi all over his body and many of his weak points. His chest, his legs, his ankles, his neck, everywhere that could give him an advantage motor skills-wise.
Why, you little human! The ultimate punch! The 1,000-brick
Mutton Mallet! And Sanji sends Kurobi flying backwards with a massive kick.
I guess you won't be needing dessert.
And that's the end of chapter 86. Onwards to chapter 87. It's all over. Kobe and Helmeppo's Chronicle of Toil, Volume 4. Study, study. While everyone is resting up in the barracks, Kobe is up, reading and studying. But it cuts to Kurobi, who gets sent flying straight through a wall right behind Arlong in a massive body print of his body shape, in a massive hole of his own body shape. And seeing all of his big wigs down, Arlong gets angrier and angrier. Kurobi's down.
Kurobi. Hachi. Like I said, insignificant small fry. Looks like we're the winners of this game.
And then Yosaku and Johnny and everyone else just looks on in shock as to seeing these fishmen getting bodied. But then Arlong gets up.
How dare you wipe out my most valuable officers? Who do you think you are?
You said Luffy's half okay. What's that mean?
It means he's not dead yet. I'll have to go back down to the ocean floor.
But it looks like that guy isn't about to let me. Then it cuts to Nojiko, who pretty much saw this whole fight go down. And she goes,
Those guys are incredible. They defeated 2 of Arlong's best men.
And then it cuts to Genzo, who pops up out of the ocean.
That's it. I can't hold my breath any longer.
Take a break, Mr. Genzo. I'll go down now. He's coughing up water. We're so close.
How's it going over there?
Nobody's been killed yet. In fact, I was afraid to believe it until now. I still can hardly believe it, but I feel a rising sense of hope about this battle.
And as she says this, it cuts to Usopp, who's laying in blood, apparently, as Chu is standing over him. You gave me a hard chase, and you were pretty fast for a human. But then you died from one shot of my Lipo Blaster. How disappointing. Guess I'll head back. My comrade should be finished by now. Now, here's something that was completely cut out from the Arlong Park arc for the 4Kids anime. They pretty much, so many significant character development moments were just completely left out because 4Kids was too lazy to try censoring it or at least do anything with it. They were just too lazy. There wasn't any smart decisions about it. They were just too lazy. Guess I'll head back. My comrades should be finished by now. Oh yeah, they're finished all right. And it cuts to Usopp, who's laying on the ground, but you hear his heart beating, so he's not dead.
Success! I'm saved! Good thing I made those ketchup stars just for this kind of situation. That guy thinks he hit me with his Lipo blister thing. Just keep walking, Lips. Sheesh, but what a terrifying species they are. They can flip houses upside down. A whole village of them. I do feel sorry for Nami, and I wish I could do more to help. But if it means getting killed, I'll pass. I'm covered with ketchup blood, but I wish I had a few more battle scars. That's it. If I smear dirt all over myself, then I might look like I fought a real battle. What should I say when I get back? Sorry? I lost.
We're a team, aren't we? And it cuts back to him thinking about Luffy and company welcoming him as part of their crew. We're a team, aren't we?
I almost had him, but he got away. Don't cry, Nami. It was a hopeless battle.
I prefer death to defeat.
Well, we all put up a good fight.
But hey, compared to a bunch of women-hating crap pirates, he's not so bad.
Wow, that was one tough fight.
It's business. I had no choice.
My wounds aren't that bad.
We've been waiting for you, brothers.
As it cuts to Yosaku and Johnny, he's remembering back to then. And then Nojiko.
Can you understand what a painful choice that was for her?
And then it cuts to the citizens.
Let's fight! You should have really seen me fight.
And he's just sitting there, trembling. And then he starts tearing up.
This is shameful! Hold it right there, fish guy!
And then Usopp gets up, and then Chu stops and looks back, and then Usopp flinches. You're alive.
The moment I decided to leave my village, I said goodbye to peace and security. You think I'd let you hit me with your wimpy half-fish squirt gun? Luffy and those guys live every day like there's no tomorrow.
Love it when that guilty conscience kicks in. That's when Usopp is at his best. Yeah, that guilty conscience comes in like a truck.
That's why they can laugh so heartily. That's the reason I set out to sea in the first place. Because I wanted to laugh with gusto, like them. If I don't fight with everything I've got, then I'm not worthy to sail on the same ship with those guys. How could I even ever laugh with them again? Death blow! Fire star!
And right when he fires, Chu is right in front of Usopp. You think that's going to stop me? And then there's just silence as it shows Chu's fist directly in front of Usopp's face. And then Usopp gets bodied by Chu. And he lays on the ground with Chu's fist bleeding. That's how hard he hit Usopp. He hit Usopp hard enough to cause Usopp to bleed. You should have just played dead. Your brain must be as weak as your body.
It's all over.
That's right. It's all over for you. And it shows Chu just stomping on Usopp, just kicking a man while he's down.
It's all over.
Huh?
Usopp's hammer!
And then Usopp takes his hammer out and then proceeds to hit Chu directly in his shin. And this hurts him. You ever get hit in your shin before? It's not like getting hit in your knee. And getting hit in your knee is tantamount to hitting your elbow on something hard, and then it feels funny. But getting hit directly in your shin, it's like this is the weak point. It's not even as bad as the heels. Like getting hit right there, it can cripple you. And it hurts even fishmen.
Usopp's rubber band of doom!
And then Chu closes his eyes, and then he opens them again and sees that Usopp is gone.
What? The fool tricked me. He ran away. The little coward.
And then a bottle comes sailing in, and Chu catches it. Booze.
The deadly lead star!
And then the Usopp apparently shoots the bottle, and then it covers Chu in booze. And also the shards from the bottle hits Chu all over his face as well.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than hitting the toes. I was thinking to myself, what's toes? T-O-W-S, what are toes? And then you said like, oh, toes.
This puny human is full of insolent tricks. But no matter where you're hiding, I'll blast you with the water from this patty.
And then Chu starts sucking in all the water that he's standing on.
That fish can say whatever he wants. Whatever happens, Usopp.
Sorry for you. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine, Kohagen. Don't even worry about it.
Whatever happens, Usopp, will not run from this fight. If I lose, I die. I'm a pirate now.
And then it cuts to Chu's body that's swollen from all the water he's sucked up.
Lippo cannon!
And he opens fire on the forest, and Usopp looks in shock and horror as a whole bunch of trees were just completely destroyed from like near the base up. Like the water cannon just took out all the trees. You don't even see those trees taken off in the distance. They're just gone, like they've just been erased.
Wow! What power! Why do I have to fight this fool?
There he is, as it cuts to Usopp, who's peeking out from behind a tree, not really paying attention.
I'll turn him into Swiss cheese. Lip-howitzer.
Like howitzer, but lip-howitzer. And it cuts to Usopp, who's trying to defend himself behind a tree.
Ah! How did he find me? Darn it! You'll see, former Usopp's pirate crew member Gaia. I went to sea to become a pirate. I'm gonna fight, and someday I really will be a brave warrior of the sea. My easy days of pretend pirating are over!
And then it cuts to Chu, who pops up right next to him and destroys the tree that Usopp's hiding behind, just with a kick.
What did you say was over? What did you say was over? This fight! Did you know that grog burns?
Huh? Because Chu's body is still covered in that booze.
Deadly Firestar!
And then Chu is engulfed in flames as Usopp basically lights him on fire. Usopp went a long way to create a Molotov cocktail. He did it in steps. He threw the bottle, then doused the area or person in question in the booze, and then waited before he then lit the person on fire. Chu is now a walking cocktail. That's the end of chapter 87. We got an SBS and then we have chapter 88. Chapter 88. Question. Sensei, I thought up a new technique for Luffy. I feel so revitalized right now, I don't even know what came over me. It just feels great. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. I feel so good right now. I could keep reading volumes, but I'm not going to because I'm sticking to 1 volume per day. Sensei, I thought up a new technique for Luffy. He stretches his mouth and eats up his enemy and later flushes him down the toilet along with his, well, you know. What do you think? Good idea, huh? And then Oda says, it stinks so. Question. I got a question for Oda Sensei. What do you call Bellmare's hairdo? It's called Women Are Brave. Go to the beauty parlor and shout it out. Question. I'm glad that Brother Sanji is a ladies' man and not a gentleman's man. Answer. Indeed. Question. When Sanji is thinking about a girl, his cigarette smokes forms the shape of a heart. How does he do it? I want to do that too. Please, times 100, teach me. Answer. First you have to be over 20 years old. Then light a cigarette and take a deep puff of smoke. Let the smoke soak up the feelings of love that you've prepared in your lungs and exhale it from your mouth. The smoke will surely come out in the shape of a heart. Question. Oda just going along with everybody. Question. I can't quite decide whether Yosaku and Johnny are strong or not. I'm within a frog's hair of being able to tell. But really, between those two and Helmeppo, who would develop more? Answer. I have high hopes that one day Kaya will become an excellent doctor. Just completely dodging the question. Chapter 88. Die! Kobe and Helmeppo's Chronicle of Toil. Volume 5. Chore boys aboard Morgan's prison ship. And when they say Morgan, they mean Axe-Hand Morgan. Because the same individual that they thought they were liberated from is being transported on that very same ship. Being dragged along with 2 ball and chains connected to both of his ankles. He still has his axe hand, but it's wrapped in chains as well as he's being led across this ship. So yeah, Helmeppo and Kobe should have a great time seeing this person again. One who threatened to kill him and another who's basically his father. So, you know, good times around. But back to it! Usopp hits Chu with his deadly fire star.
Water! Water! Uh-oh! Water! Water! Usopp's hammer!
And it cuts to Usopp coming up and hitting Chu in the back of the head with his hammer, sending him flying into the patty.
Why, you... Usopp's hammer! Usopp's hammer! Usopp's hammer! Usopp's rubber band of doom! Usopp's hammer!
He's all like,
Usopp's hammer! Usopp's hammer! Usopp's hammer!
Aho!
Usopp's hammer! Usopp's hammer!
I love it. I love it. I love it. He's just beating him over and over again until Chu can't get up anymore. This dude's head is just filled. His head is just filled with lumps.
I beat a fish man.
He should be proud. Usopp should be proud. His bumps have bumps. Yes! You know how hard you gotta hit someone to have a bump appear on a bump and then have another bump appear on top of that? Skin has to stretch. But it's like lump, lump, lump. That's Looney Tunes levels of ridiculous.
I beat a fish man.
And then Usopp falls over.
See? Even I can win if I try. Did you see that? Darn it! Don't ever underestimate me!
And then Usopp just screams out as he succeeds over beating a fish man. Yo, dog, I heard you like bumps, and I give you bumps on bumps. Then it cuts to Bellmare's house, as it shows Nami, who's still sitting there with Luffy's hat on, and she's wrapping her arm, which she repeatedly stabbed where Arlong's tattoo was, and she wraps it in a bandage.
I've done my crying, and I've voiced my complaints. My mind is made up. I have to go and join the fight!
As it cuts to Nami running towards Arlong Park. Then it cuts to Arlong Park, where Arlong is standing in front of a defeated Sanji and Zoro. They're just lying in front of him.
Was it all a dream?
Whoa! What did that nasty shark do?
I don't know, it looked like he just splashed them with water. But then they coughed up blood and collapsed.
Because it shows Sanji and Zoro just on their backs, just barely able to stand.
Please, breathe!
And then it cuts to Nojiko, who's under the water, pumping Luffy's stomach to get all the water out.
Huh?
As it shows Luffy's arm twitching.
Did he move? Just a little more.
Brother Cook, stay down!
What happened to Brother Luffy? He couldn't have died, could he?
Then it cuts to Sanji, who's standing over Zoro in front of Arlong.
Come back to life, please!
And then it cuts to Sanji, who's coughing up blood as well. And Zoro isn't moving.
I can destroy weaklings like you without even touching you. A handful of water is all it takes. Such is the difference in strength between fishmen and humans. What a joke. Poitrine Treader!
And then it cuts to Sanji trying to hit Arlong, but Arlong dodges out of the way. And then Arlong just throws some water on Sanji's leg, and Sanji immediately falls to the ground. And then he starts coughing up blood again.
This guy's no joke. He makes it look easy. But he's like a shotgun blast. So this is the power of a shark. Even among the fishmen, he's in a class by himself. This is like nothing we've faced so far. Go ahead and die. Your lives are worthless.
Then it cuts to Nami.
Arlong! Sister Nami!
Nami? Nami. Miss Nami. I was just about to blast this no-account pirate to bits. What brings you here?
I've come to kill you.
To kill me? In the 8 years you've been with us, how many times did you try to kill me? Assassins, poison, ambushes, and the result? I'm still here, ain't I? You of all people should know that no mere human can kill me. Now listen, I'm not going to kill you, but I won't let you go. You're going to be my little cartographer forever! But I'm a reasonable fishman. I don't want to hold a young girl against her will. I'd prefer that you keep working for me of your own free will. Now, I'm about to kill every human here, except for you. However, if you're willing to rejoin my crew and agree to be an officer and draw ocean charts, I'm willing to spare the people of Cocoa Village. But these two die, of course. They've caused me too much trouble. So what's it gonna be?
Hold on. The scraggly voice of Arlong, it doesn't hurt, but it tickles. Doing those types of voices doesn't hurt me, but it does tickle from time to time. It's a distraction more than it actually being harmful to me, so don't worry, I'm fine.
Come back to me now and save your beloved villagers, or stick with these weaklings and try to fight me together. But if you look at the shape these twos are in, you can see what a tragic mistake that would be. Well, Nami, are you my shipmate or theirs?
And Nami can just only look on. And then Nami just thinks,
If I say I'm Luffy and Zoro's shipmate, everyone may get killed. But if I say I'm Arlong's, all of the villagers will be spared. Is it up to me to decide who lives and dies?
and then it cuts back to Luffy, who screamed out okay in terms of helping her.
But
That's dirty! He's gonna keep Nami no matter what she decides!
I have to believe in them. I'm sorry, everyone. Fight and die with me.
And then all the citizens just join in because they're already for it. They're already for the idea. You can't imagine how D. Bradley Baker's voice must be after voicing a session. I can only imagine how his voice would be after all the voices he does in Avatar: The Last Airbender and pretty much any show that has animals in it. Because if an animal makes a sound in a cartoon, it's more than likely D. Bradley Baker who's doing it. It's amazing, by the way. It's like the crazy sounds that he can do for animals in cartoons. It's insane. D. Bradley Baker is a legend. Him and James Arnold Taylor. They're both fun. There's so many phenomenal voice actors, but that'll be a conversation for another time. Back to it. Nami says,
"Fight and die with me."
and then all the citizens just are right for it.
So you all want to die, eh?
And then it cuts to someone grabbing onto Nojiko's arm as she thinks,
Huh?
and then Luffy's cheeks puff up, and then the massive stream of water just shoots up into the air.
What?
He's breathing. Now all that's left is to free his legs.
Oh, that's what that sound was.
Could it be?
Huh?
Brother Luffy! Hey, wake up! Ah! Ah! And Luffy is now fully conscious. And then Zoro puts his hand up. And that Zoro putting his hand up, and he's putting a thumbs down to the rest of the crowd.
Zoro?
30 seconds. I won't last more than that.
That's plenty, as Sanji dives underwater.
Arlong Park has no fountains. Could it be that rubber brat?
And then, before Arlong can even move, Arlong gets slashed in the face.
Don't worry about it, you ugly bottom feeder. Your problem stands in front of you. I warned you about calling names, dead man.
As Arlong licks the blood on his cheek. Then it cuts to Usopp. Not Usopp. Then it cuts to Sanji, who's swimming underwater.
Egg Star!
And before Arlong can do anything, we hear someone scream,
I've got your back, Zoro!
Brother Usopp, how brave!
He's alive, but where is he? What a dramatic entrance.
Fight all you want!
There you are! As it cuts to Usopp, who's hiding behind the gate, the wall of Arlong Park, and firing from the hole that Sanji got knocked through earlier by Kurobi.
Usopp! Nami! I beat one of Arlong's officers! Me!
And then it cuts to Genzo.
Can you use your strength to flee yourself? Can you use your strength to flee yourself now? To free yourself somehow?
Nope. No can do. I'm just too weak. Then it cuts to Sanji, who's still underwater.
I'm counting on you. You're our last hope.
Then it cuts to Hachi, who slowly starts to get up.
You think I'd let you humans win?
And that is the end of chapter 88. Onwards to chapter 89. How many chapters do we have? Oh yeah, one more. One more after this, and then we can call this a session. I'm making good time. Chapter 89, Trade-Off. Kobe and Helmeppo's Chronicle of Toil, Volume 6. Work, work, work. And as they're working, polishing swords and polishing cannonballs, they're thinking of Axe-Hand Morgan and wondering if he's going to get the death penalty. Then we cut to Sanji. If I can just kick the rock around Luffy's legs to pieces, he can swing into action. He's the only one left with any hope of beating Arlong.
It's Brother Cook. I don't know what he's doing down there, but we're all counting on him now.
Brother Zoro, hold fast!
Not only do people with devil fruit powers lose them underwater, but the ocean also takes away their will to live. So if that brat is still alive, then someone must be helping him.
Then it cuts to Nojiko, who's struggling to try and pull Luffy's feet out of the stone.
Come out! Come out!
Hey,
Hey, where's your pinwheel, mister?
that's not important right now.
Luffy's all like, hey, where's your pinwheel, mister? It was cool.
That's not important right now.
And then it cuts to Zoro.
So, why shouldn't we? This is our game. Correction, it's my game, and I won't allow any cheating.
I've got to stop Arlong from going after Sanji! Hey, Arlong! Over here! I'll distract him! What?
Brother Usopp!
And then Usopp just looks. Arlong just looks as Usopp goes,
Usopp's rubber band of doom!
Since you're standing in front of me, you must want to die, Roronoa Zoro.
Now go, Zoro!
and Usopp's rubber band barely sails out of the hole that he's hiding behind. It barely goes anywhere.
What are you trying to do?
Goes Nami.
I'll shatter that nose you're so proud of.
And then it cuts to Zoro clashing against Arlong's nose, and it doesn't move. And all the while, Zoro is steadily bleeding.
Fool, the reason I'm so proud of this nose is because it can be shattered. Even if you had real power, you'd be lucky just to scratch it.
And then it cuts to Yosaku.
Look over there.
Whoa, the octopus guy is getting up. What's he gonna do?
And then it cuts to Hachi, who gets up, and as he's shaking,
Huh? Darn, I thought a rubber band was coming at me.
What? What? See, I scared him.
You aimed at Arlong.
Octopus.
I won't let you fools win.
you're surprised that Michael Winslow never got into voice acting? Look, the man is a walking sound effects machine. That shocks me that he never got into voice acting. If he has, he hasn't starred in enough for everyone to instantly recognize him. When that comes to making sounds, Michael Winslow was doing it before D. Bradley Baker, I think. Like, this dude, he was doing it since the 70s. Like, when did Police Academy come out? I gotta look that up later. I gotta look up stuff on Michael Winslow, period. But, it cuts to Hachi going,
I won't let you fools win, Roronoa Zoro. I'll kill that shipmate of yours who's in the ocean.
as Hachi dives underwater.
Don't worry about it. In the end, you're all going to die.
In the 80s. How far back has D. Bradley Baker been doing stuff? 1984. Okay. I thought it was the 70s, but I was incorrect. It was a time before I was even born, because I was born in the 90s. But that happened in the 80s, so yeah. But I remember one thing from Police Academy, I think. But back to it.
Don't worry about it. In the end, you're all going to die.
And then it cuts to Arlong overpowering Zoro as he apparently hits Zoro. Brother Zoro! Then it cuts to Sanji, who's underwater, as he gets closer and closer to Nojiko. Leave the rest to me, he motions, because, can't speak underwater, and Nojiko sees him. But then she sees Nojiko sees him. But she also notices someone else behind Sanji, and it's Hachi!
A fish man? Get back!
Get back, I can shatter that rock. Remember his first scene at the police station?
Die! Die!
Just one good kick.
Octopus fritter frenzy!
Octopus? Watch out! And as Sanji opens his mouth a little bit, as he sees Nojiko get in between Hachi.
Zoro!
As it cuts to Usopp climbing over the wall, and Arlong is holding Zoro up by the neck.
So many bandages. Did you have an accident?
And he tears it open to see the massive, still bleeding wound from Mihawk. Mind you, they don't show you what this cut looks like in the anime. It just shows the shocked face of Arlong. This is something that is completely omitted in the anime. Even in the Japanese, even in the sub, they don't show you the actual cut across Zoro that Mihawk gave him. But you see it in the pages, and it's stitched together, but it's still bleeding. Massively bleeding. Like, the moment Arlong ripped those bandages off, you just see the blood pour from the wound and start to cover his midsection. That's how that's how deep this cut is. Just taking the bandages off started to reopen that cut again.
Where'd you get all these wounds?
And then everyone sees the scar, the massive scar that Mihawk gave Zoro, and everyone just looks in shock.
How can he still be alive? How can he stand?
And then it shows Zoro staring down Arlong as he's being held up.
Those eyes, are they the eyes of a dying man? I better finish him off right now.
And then it cuts to Zoro, who's kind of smiling. And then Zoro just says,
lying still would have kept some of the wounds from opening up. You're probably right. Is that your idea of a joke? I wasn't talking about me. I meant Octopus Boy.
As it cuts to the ocean.
What?
I told you, this is our game, and we're winning. And then it cuts to Hachi, who suddenly explodes in a shower of blood as all the cuts that Zoro gave him reopen. All because Hachi wanted to dive after Sanji. All the cuts that Zoro gave him, especially from his Dragon Twister, all of those cuts reopen, and it keeps Hachi from even getting close to Nojiko and Sanji. Tried to warn him. And they just look in shock. And Sanji looks and then delivers a massive kick to this piece of rock that Luffy is embedded on.
Whoa, that was close. You got us into this mess in the first place.
Hey, goes Luffy.
Yes!
Now get us out of it, crap kid.
Hey!
Are you free, kid?
Oh, yeah!
And it cuts to Genzo going,
are you free, kid?
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah! Go beat that crap shark to death.
And then it cuts to Luffy's body, rapidly retracting, and as Genzo is holding on to him, Luffy goes, "Hey!" and flies into the air as his body is fully free from the stone as he screams, "I'm back!" And he's high above Arlong Park. Oh, it's the rubber boy! Brother Luffy!
Luffy!
Usopp is exclaiming, and then Genzo lays back and finally gets to rest, and Arlong goes,
the rubber boy. It's about time, idiot.
And then Luffy latches on to Zoro. Zoro!
Huh? Hey, wait, it can't be.
Trade you places! And then he whips Zoro into the air and then shoots towards Arlong. Ah! And then everyone is screaming, "You idiot! Gum Gum Bell!" And then he hits Arlong with Gum Gum Bell and then comes back with Hand Whip! And then sidekicks Arlong and sends him, sidekicks Arlong and then runs up to Arlong and then hits him with Bullet! And then hits Arlong all over with Gatling! And then everyone's just watching Arlong getting tossed.
Did you do something?
Ah! It didn't work!
Yep, just warming up. He did all that, he didn't even intend to just body Arlong. He just wanted, like, I've been in the water long enough. I need to stretch. So I'm just going to hit you with some of my moves. Now I'm ready to fight. Then it cuts to Zoro, who struggles to get out of the water he was thrown into, and going,
I'm gonna kill him.
And that is the end of chapter 89. Onwards to the last chapter of volume 10. But first, we have an SBS. Question. After reading your manga, Sensei, I'm inspired to follow my dream. My dream is to build a big bridge in America. Answer. That's nice, a young man with dreams. I like that. All right then, do it. And if anyone gets in your way, I'll go in, wearing hard leather boots, stomp on the pinky toe of his foot. So don't worry, go for it. Now, Oda is thinking of dealing the most damage possible. You can get hit all over your body, but there is no sensation you can ever feel on your body compared to your pinky toe getting hit by literally anything. Especially when you stub it. The big toe, yeah, that'll hurt. But that pinky toe, it's like all of your pain receptors for your whole body suddenly go to the pinky toe and then decides to get inflamed. And it just lets you know, like, well, it's time for that lower half of my body to die. So, and then you fall backwards because it's like, that's an Achilles heel, but it's an Achilles toe. The pinky toe. The weak foot. Question. Knock knock, Oda Sensei. Oda body home? Answer. Give me a break. Question. When Patty the cook says, I'm turniply saucy, what does it mean? It means I'm terribly sorry. I'm terribly sorry. He tends to make things sound like food. For example, he might say he's quite a man. He did lettuce of ham glazing cheese mince. Please applaud him. If you say things like that, people will probably look at you funny. Question. A question for you. Is there a bone in Usopp's nose? I've seen it bend so many times, like squish. Answer. I've never seen that. Bend like squish? How absurd. Whoa, it does bend. There ends SBS. Onwards to the last chapter, chapter 90, What Can You Do? Kobe and Helmeppo's Chronicle of Toil, Volume 7, Chores. And before they do anything, Helmeppo spots someone out on the distance. And now we cut to Arlong.
How tenaciously you scum hold on by your stubby little teeth. But you had been better off dying peacefully at the bottom of the ocean.
And then Luffy is just stretching while Arlong is just monologuing. You would think after watching Incredibles he learned that monologuing does little to nothing against him. I'm glad they rescued me. And he's still stretching.
Can't you understand why I'm upset? I've watched my beloved comrades be defeated by worms. I'll soon make you wish for a quiet death.
And then it cuts to the citizens who are just outside. And Yosaku.
Is brother Luffy alright? All of his ferocious attacks didn't even seem to faze Arlong.
Hey, where did brother Zoro fly off to?
Go, Luffy! I got your back!
Big deal, says Nami as Usopp is still hiding behind the wall. Then it cuts to Sanji, who's sitting off to the side with Nojiko and Genzo as he lights up another cigarette.
If Luffy loses, we're all dead.
That would be the end of the East Blue.
You're right.
Then it cuts to Zoro, who's slumped up and found a place to, lay back, still with his scars are still open. And then it cuts to Arlong going,
Do you know the difference between you and me?
Our noses. And then the air just sweeps through because it's such a dumb answer. And then Luffy goes, Our chins?
Is Luffy joking?
I think he's serious.
Web toes?
No! Species!
As Arlong, fed up, tries to chomp and bite Luffy, but Luffy dodges out of the way. And then, it cuts to Arlong trying to hit Luffy multiple times, trying to bite him multiple times, but Luffy keeps dodging. And then he grabs Luffy by the neck and then tries to chomp on him. But Luffy, with his elastic body, literally bends his head out of the way.
Whoa! That idiot! He bit into stone! He's disarmed himself! His teeth will break and...
Then the pillar that Arlong is chomping on breaks from the full force of his jaws.
Ah! He chewed up that stone pillar!
Wow, scary! If those jaws clamp onto Luffy, they won't just leave marks. He'll be eating up bones and all, goes Sanji to himself.
Superhuman strength is the birthright of all fishmen. The heavens didn't smile on your puny kind in that regard. You're inherently inferior. From the moment of birth, an unbridgeable gulf separates our species.
He's right, and no human can span that gulf no matter how hard he trains.
So what? That's nothing. And then Luffy then breaks the same pillar that Arlong destroyed. He just breaks the pillar. He says, so what? Boom! And then breaks the pillar and goes, that's nothing. You don't have to have big teeth to crush stone.
Good one, brother!
That's right, you showed him. It's pointless to argue. Humans are a stupid, weak, foolish species. You sink like rocks in the ocean. What can you do?
And then Usopp picks up, Luffy, sorry, these names. Luffy picks up 2 swords and goes, maybe I can't do anything, but I have friends who will rescue me. Shoo! And then he cuts to Luffy picking up swords. And then Sanji goes, does he even know how to use a sword? And he starts haphazardly swinging his swords towards Arlong.
What's this? You're just swinging wildly.
And then Arlong snaps away one of the swords with his nose.
I'm bored with your games. Huh?
And then it cuts to Luffy trying to smack Arlong with one of the other swords, but it gets sent flying into the air because the blade itself breaks on his nose.
Foolishness!
Clench your teeth! And then it cuts to Arlong getting hit square in the jaw with enough force that it actually cracks all of his teeth. Luffy, and you can tell that this was a strong blow because Luffy flexed and then he put all of his strength into that one punch, causing Arlong to break all of his teeth in the process and send him flying.
What? He shattered Arlong's teeth!
And then it cuts to Luffy exclaiming, I don't know how to use a sword, shark face! I don't know how to use a sword, shark face!
Huh? What is he on about?
I don't know how to navigate either.
I can't cook, and I can't tell lies.
Hey!
I know I can't live without help from a lot of people. And then it cuts to Arlong, who gets back up.
What a clever boy you are to admit your own helplessness. What a burden it must be for your crew to have such an idiot for a captain. I don't know why they fight so desperately to save you. You lack the slightest shred of dignity or ability. What gives you the right to be the captain of a ship? Just what can you do?
And then Luffy just smiles and goes, I can beat you. And then the whole crowd goes, do it, brother Luffy!
Get him, crap kid. If you die, I'll kill you.
I've got your back!
Babble away, cockroaches!
As a new set of teeth grows in Arlong's mouth. Hey, his teeth grew back!
I'm a shark, they'll always grow back. Each time stronger than the time before. An endless number of times.
As it cuts to Arlong forcibly ripping his entire set of teeth out of his mouth.
An endless number of times! This is a special power bestowed by the gods.
Wow!
Now do you see how superior we fishmen are?
As it cuts to Arlong, who's holding up a set of his own teeth, one in each hand, and he regrows another set back in his mouth again.
Tooth attack!
As he tries to, hit Luffy, He tries to hit Luffy with his teeth, and he's dodging out of the way.
Tooth attack!
Huh? Wait!
And he grabs on to the teeth to keep them from chomping on him. Arlong Canasta. Yeah. Isn't it called Arlong Canasta in the 4Kids dub? Isn't it called Arlong Canasta in the 4Kids dub? Lord Jesus, if it is. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're almost done. We only got a couple pages left. Wait! As Luffy grabs onto the chompers to keep himself from getting hit. And then it cuts to Yosaku and Johnny screaming out, "Brother Luffy!" There's 2 more extra Y's, so you said it because it resembles that. If I remember correctly, it's called Arlong Canastas. Hold on, let me look this up. Hold on, let me see. I'm looking. It's called something. Hold on, I'm looking it up. The joys of being able to look stuff up on the internet while I'm in the middle of the stream as well. We are almost done. We're almost done. Go down to his teeth attacks. Why does it take so long for this site to load up? Hold on. All right, the wiki's taking too long. Oh no, it's not. It's not called Arlong Canastas. It's called Tooth Attack. The 4Kids dub didn't even have a name for it. Because the attack, I guess, didn't even make it into the anime. Because I guess they didn't want to show Arlong's teeth getting pulled out of his face. But it doesn't have a 4Kids dub, so it doesn't have a 4Kids attack name. All right. If that is true, you didn't know that, it was by mistake, don't worry, it's not called Arlong Canastas, it's called Tooth Attack. But it cuts to Arlong, who's laughing as it looks like he's chomping on Luffy. Brother Luffy! And then everyone looks in shock, as it turns out that Luffy basically just used the body of a fishman as his own personal shield.
What? Comrade!
Lord, Arlong, that hurts! Whew! And we see the teary-eyed, bloodied face of a fishman who just got chomped on by Arlong, and Arlong didn't even notice until the very last second. And Arlong just starts twitching like,
"Why, you little gum-gum!"
Just wondering, am I reading the light novel for the beginning after the end? I tend to read the light novel alongside the webcomic pages, so at the moment, Clamron, I am not reading the beginning after the end. Because I like to read the webcomic along with the pages, just so I can talk about the differences into what has been changed from the webcomic to the light novel. So I like to read them both side by side. So as it stands right now, I am currently not reading the light novel, but I will once the webcomic returns from hiatus. But Arlong is twitching going,
"Why, you little gum-gum!"
Hey, I just thought of something fun, as Luffy's just smiling in front of Arlong. To be continued in One Piece Volume 11. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of Volume 10 of One Piece. And now I'm going to take me a cool, thank you. No problem, Clamran. I was happy to answer. Now I'm going to go ahead and take me a nice break, eat some food, and then we'll boot up Tears of the Kingdom so we can continue where I left off last time later today. But as I always say, it is an immense honor and privilege to be your entertainer as I bring you the beginning, pretty much the beginning of all of One Piece through my volume read-throughs. I enjoy doing the voices, I look forward to it every single day, and I always look forward to entertaining you every single day. I can't tell you how much energy it brings me to read these volumes one after the other. It never, just a heads up, One Punch Man is on hiatus till early to mid-June. Okay. That works because, hold on. If they didn't release a chapter yesterday, then I'm good. But if they got a chapter out today, thank God! No chapter until June. Okay, so I'm good. I didn't miss anything. All right, I'm square. But to everyone here, I enjoy doing this. I have so much energy to do this. There's not a moment that goes by where I'm thinking like, oh, I don't know if I have enough energy to read out a whole volume. It's like, y'all saw me I got more energy in the middle of the reading. Just like, I'm up. So yes, I just love doing this. And I just want to say thank you for allowing me to do this for you. For being here whenever I'm doing things. Whenever I'm doing these sort of things. This is what makes me happy, and I'm glad it's something that you guys enjoy as well. But I'm done. I'm done standing on ceremonies, trying to be all sentimental. Thank you, Ogata-san, for the heads up for One Punch Man. That gives me a little bit of break on Wednesdays, and I don't have to worry about it until next month. But everyone, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, share this stream with everyone you know, because the more the merrier, because I got a goal. I want to hit 100,000 subscribers, and that is something I'm going to work towards. So the more people who know about this channel, the better. And maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!